Hello and welcome everyone to this video on Introduction to Modularization by ZaranTech. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update from us.
Hey everyone, today we are going to start the concept of modularization technique. This is a very important concept that we need to understand in our SAP ABAP programming. So what is modularization? Basically, modularization consists of a word module. And module simply means a small part or small unit. So what is small part or small unit? In real world scenario, what we do, we basically divide our big programs which can consist of mainly 4 to 5,000 of lines of code into small piece of code so that we can perform debugging and we can understand the logic of our program very easily. Then what is modularization here? Modularization is a technique which is used to divide the application program into smaller units. So basically what we will be doing, we will be dividing our program into smaller units so that we can understand it carefully, and if some issue is happening, if some issue is occurring, then what we will do? We will perform the debugging and we will find out the error that has been happening there. Okay. Now a question which will arise in everyone's mind, that what is the need to divide the program into smaller units? What is the need of modularization in real life? So whenever we use modularization technique, the code maintenance becomes very easy. Now code maintenance will become very easy. How can we will define it? How we will define it that the code maintenance will become very easy when we are using the modularization technique? So understand this. Suppose I have a standard program and which consists of 1,000 lines of code, and we are not using modularization technique in it. The code has been written simply line after line, 1,000 lines of code. And if some issue occurs in that particular program, and now the user wants us to find out the error and to solve that particular error, then we will have to check each and every line of code right from the scratch of the program, and it will be a very time-consuming process. So what SAP has done, it has given us modularization technique so that we can divide our programs into smaller units and we can use it according to our requirement. So it is always easy to check a small units of program whenever any error or some issue occurs. And it will be very easy to check a small unit of program rather than checking the entire code, which can be of very large number of lines, and it will be a very time-consuming process. Also, the modularization technique reduces the code redundancy. Now, what is the meaning of code redundancy? So, for explaining this concept, I am taking an example. Suppose I want to fetch some data from VBAK table multiple times. Then in that scenario, if I am not using modularization technique, then I will have to write the same select query multiple times. Right? I will have to write the same select query multiple times because I want to fetch data multiple times. But if I am using modularization technique, then I do not need to write the logic multiple times. I can simply use that modularization and I can simply use the same piece of code as many times as I want, because that code will be written in a particular block and I can use it multiple times, which SAP allows us. So reusability is one of the most important features of modularization technique. What we can do, we can perform the reusability, and reusability will help us to solve our issue whatever will occur during our program execution. So various modularization technique available in SAP. How many modularization techniques are available? So mainly we have 4 kinds of modularization technique. First one is in the concept of include program. Include program. Now what is include program? The term itself is suggesting if you want to add some particular section or a particular program within a program, then we mainly use include program. These include programs are not executable one. You cannot directly execute them automatically, but you can include them in a particular executable program and then execute it. Then we have function module. Function module are simply used for reusability purpose. They are basically a block of code in which some logic has been written. So I want to show you a function module for we have SC37 transaction code. And so this is particular function module which I have built it. In the import section, I have given a sales document number and associated its data type, which is an internal table, and I will be providing sales document number from select option right from the selection screen. Then in export section, we there is no export section here. In simply we are source code, what I am giving in LT table, I am giving the output. In table section, you can see the particular output. Okay, so this is our what the function module is basically. At this moment, I am simply giving you a brief introduction of this concept, and we will see it when we will implement it. Then we have the subroutines. Basically, these are forms and end forms. We will see it later on. And then we have class method. Class methods are similar to function modules, but they are more fast and more efficient as compared to function module. Now I have taken a sample of modularization technique, which I will show to you. I will go to SC38, which is basically ABAP editor. Now see it. This is particular program or which I have used. In this particular program, what I am doing, I have taken few fields from VBAK table. Simply go to SC11. Select database table, then provide VBAK. Click on display button. Now see. I select Control Y, then we have VBLN, ERDAT, ERZDT, ERNUM, then their data elements. And then I have used the VB type. So I have basically taken 5 fields from VBAK table. Then I have created an internal table for this type structure. Now I have to take input from the user. So for taking input from the user, what I am doing? I am created a select option. I have created a select option which will be taking input from the user. For what? For sales document number. Then in startup selection event, what you will see in startup selection event, I have written the logic. I have written the particular select query. Okay. And then I have used a method of CLSLB table class, which is basically factory method. It is returning me its object. And then I am using its instant method, which is display to display the ALV. Now I am clicking on execute button. Just take some input, suppose 1 to 20, press F8 or execute button. This ALV will be displayed. So this is a simple program. Okay, this has become a simple program which I have written. Now I want to show you. Now I'm going to show you this particular program using modularization technique. So I will simply go to SC38. Okay, maximum number of GUI sessions have been reached. I will go to click on display button and see what I have done. I have created first an include. Now just double click on this. Here you can see it. If you try to execute button, the entire program is being executed. Let's open this particular include in another window so that our concept will become more clear. I will go here, SC38, and just click on display button. Now try to execute it. If you will try to execute it, you are seeing wherever you have used this particular include, that particular program is being present using this pop-up screen. So we cannot directly execute these include programs. We always need a particular executable program to execute this include concept. So what is the benefit of using this include? The most important benefit is you have particularly used, now see our old program. What I have done, this is our program. So this particular header section in which I have created type structure and internal table, I have simply passed it into this include program so that my code will become small. And this particular section, I have divided it into an include. I have divided my entire program into How many sections? 4 sections. And in the first section, I have used an include program in which I have given the particular type structure and internal table of my VBAK table. Then I have created another include button. In this include, you will see I have given select option through which user will give input for sales document number. And in a startup selection, what I have done, I have called that function module which I have shown you earlier. In this function module, what you are doing? You are particularly passing the select option internal table, and in tables you are getting the output, the particular output of internal table. Then you are displaying this internal table using this particular method. Today I just want you to understand the importance of modularization. When we will implement it, then it will become more easy. Just understand it. Now see, this program was consisting of 62 lines, but you can see it, my program length has been decreased. So modularization technique simply reduces the length of the program. Also, it divides the program into smaller units so that the code debugging will become easier and it will become more efficient for the programmers to debug the program and understand the entire concept of the program. So modularization technique is very important for interview perspective and for the implementation perspective as well. So this is all about modularization technique for today. It consists of 4 kinds of model. Basically, SAP has provided us 4 kinds of modularization technique. First one is include program. Then we have a function modules. Then we have subroutines. Then we have class methods. And what is simply a modularization technique? So modularization technique is used to divide the application program into smaller units so that we can reduce the code redundancy and we can maintain our code very easily. That's all about our introduction portion about the modularization technique. And we will see more about it in the next part. Thank you very much.